In today's video, YouTube, you will be learning about the life of 360 and the life of 180. And I have it on my board over here saying you don't have to live a life of 360 degree. Now it's time for the 180. Because a life of 360, according to math, if you're doing a 360, is all in a circle. A 360 in a circle, but if you put that into half, this is a 180. That means you start from somewhere, you're going somewhere. In this video, I will be explaining to you in my own opinion or the way I see the world and the matrix itself, this matrix that the society, the system has actually programmed us to live, and how I see how you can break free from that matrix to start embracing yourself so you could start living a life of 180, which is at least going somewhere. And this video actually inspired. I was inspired to make this video when I listened to Martin Luther King Jr. quotes. He said, "If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. But by all means, make sure you keep moving. Make sure you keep going." And that is the main goal, especially for my bros out there. As a man, as a warrior, you want to actually embrace who you are. You don't want to be a slave to your own self. You don't want to be a slave to the society as well, but you want to actually master yourself through self-mastery. So we're just going to go right into it. Number one over here that I have on my list of a life of 360 is the cell phone, social media. Like the word itself is a cell. To some extent, YouTube, I'll say we all as human, we are all a prisoner. We are all living in this cage. We all just trying to escape the matrix. We all trying to make better decision for us to be a better self for ourselves, for our family, for the kids, and for the neighbor, to actually make the world a better place. So I got it as cell phone. We live in a world right now, especially in this 21st century. I believe to some extent, the social media is doing more bad harm to the younger generation than good. We have it to be constant scrolling. We have couple weeks ago, I was going for a walk. Sometimes I go for a walk to clear my head. And this lady was just all up in her phone without being aware of her surroundings. She almost got hit by a car. And that is really crazy for me, because in this modern world, oftentimes the accident is always maybe the driver isn't aware of, checking his phone, or the pedestrian as well. They're not aware. Phone is just all crazy. And this is a life of 360. And I see my young people too out there, from a 30-second scroll to you spending an hour without you being even aware about it. And the crazy thing about short is you're not even getting a valid information. It's just a clip from this person say, that person say. You're not really getting the real information, but you're spending your time on that, 30 minutes scroll, going on like cheap dopamine, doing all of that. And at the same time, I'll say you're not even getting anything, but you're losing, matter of fact. Because if there's one thing you're losing, it's your time, your energy. And once all of that is gone, it cannot be replaced. To me, I believe this is number one that is killing this modern day society, is killing this young generation, is the fact that the cell phone has actually have some people living in cage without them even realizing. This is a lifestyle of 360. Number two I have over here, I say comfort. I say comfort because I believe nothing ever grow in comfortable zone. You have to be able to discomfort yourself if you want to escape the matrix, if you want to actually live a life of progression. If you want to live a life of progression, let go of comfort, at least for now. Because we all are human. We all love comfort. We all want to live a lavish life. But at least for now, if this video gets to you, at least for now, you want to actually leave comfort behind and embrace discomfort. And coming to United States, I actually realized the system to some extent is actually programmed to keep you comfortable. And how did they do that? They do that through credit card. I see people a lot of time, they're using their credit card to purchase uh, maybe the latest sneakers. They're getting finances, financed by a car. They're doing just spending money that really isn't really there. At least if you want to get a credit card, if you want to get a credit from a bank, let it be because you want to actually open an enterprise, start up a business, something like that. You do money, you use money in getting money back. You don't use money to actually lose, all because you want the applaud, you want the recognition, you want the latest car, you're living from paycheck to paycheck. Your auto finance person call you, yeah, come finance a car. You actually going to finance a car when you live in paycheck to paycheck. In my own understanding, in my own opinion, I believe this is also a life of 360. If you do not have that money, there's no point in actually getting the latest sneakers. If you do not have that money, there's no point in purchasing even that house whereby you pay mortgage month to month, or you start paying bit by bit. I don't know why I think like this. Maybe because I'm African. Because back in Africa, if you do not have your money to pay for a certain product or a thing, there's nobody giving you. You have to pay this. You have to pay bit by bit. You have your money, you pay, you go. And to me, this is how I believe we should live. You don't want to, unless you get a credit to open a business. There's no point in getting a credit to purchase a car or to actually get the latest sneakers. To me, I believe this is also a way of you living a life of 360, and you can break free by actually practicing discomfort. Lastly, over here, why I say the life of 360, why I put fear over here. We live in a world where many people live in fear, especially for my brothers as well. You spend your energy on things that really do not matter. You spend your energy on cheap dopamine. You waste your energy so much that the little energy that is left in you is run by fear. Society promotes fear because with a person who is afraid is a person who you're not a threat to nobody. If you always live in constant fear, in constant anxiety, you're not a threat to the society. Society will probably say, what, we got him. The devil will say, we got him. It's not a threat to us. But if you live in confidence, in purpose, the devil will be afraid of you. And this you can actually use in breaking the life of 360, in breaking the matrix. If you live in confidence, live in, purpose, instead of living in fear of what would that person think, what would that person say, you live in your own shadow, you let your mind actually overpower you. You're being controlled by your mind instead of you controlling your own life. So you don't want to live in fear. The day you break free from fear will be the day you start living a life of purpose, a life of awareness, which is going to bring me down to here why I think you should live, in my own opinion, why I think this should be a life of 180. Number one, I got on my board over here for sure. It's a life of self-awareness. You've got to be aware of what you're doing. You've got to be aware of your surrounding. You've got to be aware of what is going on. Like I said earlier, there are many people in this day, they are not even aware of what they are doing. Just, on their social media. And with social media, there's no day, there's no night, there's no nothing. Whatever you open your phone, you want to scroll all day, all night, it's always there for you. And with you doing this, putting your energy in this, you're actually losing self-awareness. Some people will spend their days and time on phone for like an hour or 2 hours without even learning anything, but they've actually lose themselves because they are not aware of their surrounding, of how long they've been doing that. So with self-awareness, that's the number one thing for you to start living a life of 180. You got to be self-aware with what you're doing. And number two over here, I've got it to be discomfort. I said it over here, nothing ever grow in comfortable zone. You have to be able to discomfort yourself. Embrace that discipline. Embrace that challenge. Discipline often is something that you don't want to do, but you still show up, you still do it, and you do it as if you love it. If you live a hard life right now, especially for my young bros watching me, if you live a hard life now, definitely it's inevitable you will live a comfortable life in the near future. I've said it before, that every one of us love comfort. But if you can just give yourself a little time for you to be discomfort so you could enjoy a greater comfort in the near future, that would be the best. Because if not, comfort and discomfort is inevitable for every one of us. It's either you want to be comfortable now and have to live with discomfort for the rest of your life with a lower energy. Because if you're young, you have higher energy, you're more stronger, you could move around a lot. But the more you get older, you realize there are some things you can't really do. So it's advisable for you to live a 180 life, for you to start doing that life now, for you to start making the hard decision, for you to be disciplined, consistency, repetition. Sometimes the basics, I go to the gym oftentimes, and sometimes I just stick to the basics. I'm not trying to do anything extra. I'm just sticking to the basics, either it be incline or flat bench. I'm not really a big fan of working in like machine. I'd rather do dumbbell, just the basics. The basics sometimes really get the job done. You don't have to go too fancy or anything like that. So it's okay for you to be discomfort, to practice that discomfort so you can enjoy the greater comfort when you get older. And I'm going to say, last but not the least, for you to live a life of 180, you want to read books and listen to podcasts. I think Bruce Lee said this better, that he is not afraid of a man who has actually read 1,000 books, but he is afraid of a man who has read one book or one skill for 1,000 times. So when I say read book, I'm not saying to get like 10 books or 20 books and start reading from page to page. When I say read book, if it's just one, if you're a slow reader like me, if it's just one book that you can read, but you can actually grab what that book is saying, learn from that book and know it in and out, you're making progress. You don't have to read 10 books at the same time saying, oh, I read this book, I read that book. If it's one book and you're able to grasp the wisdom from that book, the knowledge from that book, and apply it in your life. Because you reading 10, 20 books without you applying it to your life, it's a waste of time and energy. Well, you might actually get something from it, know something from it, which is not a waste of energy, ironically. But if you just one book you're able to read, but you're able to imply that kind of principles in your life, you're making a huge progress compared to the person who has read 10 books or 20 books without, practicing the principle that the book is actually teaching. And I'm going to say, listen to podcasts. Lastly, listen to podcasts. Sometimes, podcasts for myself, I'll say there are some podcasts you listen to that will actually make you question reality, that will make you question who am I really, just like videos like this, who is going to make you be self-aware. You listen to podcasts that, motivate you. You listen to podcasts that, that's just going to make you question your being, being alive, and from there, you can actually grasp who you are and start working in purpose as well.